I'm Dr. Veronica, and this is Wellness for the Real World. We are on webtalkradio.net, and today I'm welcoming Reid Rosenthal. How are you?
I'm doing just fine, Veronica. Thanks.
And thank you for having me at your ranch.
My pleasure.
It's been fun so far, and you have a book coming out.
I do.
So tell me about your book. What's it called? When is it coming out? What does it talk about?
Well, the book is Land for Love and Money, and it has an associated workbook, Green for Green. It's unique. There's really not been another book like it at all, and I've really researched it. And it's the A to Z. I mean, literally from the time you first start thinking about buying land all the way to the time you may unfortunately have to dispose of it, and everything in between. Improvement, planning, due diligence, writing the purchase agreement, putting together your land team, making the improvements, creating value, translating that value into gain, translating that value into tax benefits, which I think are going to become increasingly important, and improving the property in other ways. It is really the A to Z. The book is written anecdotally. It's over 300 true stories, some of them ugly, like, I did what? But 300 anecdotes.
Now you're going to have to give us a story,
So
too.
yeah, I will. 300 anecdotes, and it's written in kind of novel-like form, so I think it's fun reading. And the different sections of the Land for Love and Money book refer to specific sections in the Green for Green workbook, which has the technical stuff, the forms, the charts, the lists, contract provisions you can use in a purchase agreement or sales agreement, certain provisions that you can use in a conservation easement to maximize both its donative value and the retained value when you grant an easement like that to preserve the property.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in
Sure.
because what we need to do is sort of bring it down way a notch, because I'm normal upstanding citizen of America and I'm not going to be a rancher and I want to buy some land. Is this a book that's going to help me?
Yes.
I just want to go out. Maybe I want a vacation property with an acre.
It's a
Why
great,
would
it's a
this
great
book help
question,
me?
and it goes back to what I said before, the universal truth.
Mm-hmm.
The universal truth, which is really what this book is about, applies to a piece of land no matter what its size, no matter what its location, anywhere in North America. We own ranches in Canada also. We've consulted to huge fundos, which are ranches in South America. And I can tell you that after 40 years in the business and over $1.5 billion worth of land transactions, there are universal truths. And this book is written for universal truth. It will help somebody who owns land at whatever stage they're in, because I think they can improve the process, that's the money part, and they can improve their enjoyment, that's the love part, of their property during the ownership period. And it will certainly help wannabe buyers, and there's 5.6 million of them in North America, who have always wanted to aspire to buy a piece of land, whether it's an acre in Pennsylvania or whether it's 10,000 acres in the Rockies or 20 acres on the coast somewhere. So yes, I think there's huge benefit, because I haven't written it in technical terms or specific terms for ranches or farms or rural or recreational. I've written in universal terms.
Yes, and I agree. I've read a section of the book that you gave me, and it was in the form where it was fun to start reading and then figure out, okay, well, what am I going to learn at the end of this? So tell us a little bit about, just give me a snippet of one thing that somebody could quickly read and take away from your book, quickly. If I'm just a normal, everyday person, I'm not high-minded, I don't want to be real technical about it. What is somebody, give us a preview of something.
I think one example of many, I'll work on the you want to buy land and you haven't, but it's been a dream that you've held. This will tell you how to put together the team you need to buy a piece of land so that you don't get stuck. There are gotchas in a land purchase or a land ownership.
And should we go to a regular real estate agent?
If there's a good real estate agent who specializes in land in that area, absolutely.
So you want a land specialist.
They can be very helpful. You don't want to go to a house salesman. No offense to realtors, I am a realtor. You don't want to go to a house salesman to buy a piece of land. They are entirely separate animals. Entirely.
So ask the question.
Okay, number two, you want a good attorney who's familiar with local land use. Number three, I assume that you have a good accountant or you know something about it, and if you don't, get one. Because there's many benefits that land will generate for you, not only on the gain side, but on the tax side, that will more than pay his fees.
Now, does your book have resources in there? Say, I'm on the East Coast, you're out here. Does it have places that can show me how to go find these people?
It tells you how to.
Okay.
It tells you who to talk to find out who's referred the most. Okay. Who do most of the guys who are the most successful as businessmen in buying and selling land in your area use. He's the guy you want to help you buy your 5-acre dream place.
I got it.
Okay?
Now, before we go on to our next section, you got to give us a land story, something that we want to find out that's interesting about all your travels and travails. I've been with Reid for the last couple of days, and I've been hearing story upon story upon story. Tell us one of your most interesting stories about land.
You want the good, the bad, or the ugly?
The ugly.
Yeah, I figured you'd want the ugly. So, you know, I have loads of experience, obviously, in this type of stuff. And there was a ranch that there was a little 2-sentence advertisement in a classified section of a small town paper. And I read those because you never know what's going to come up in those things.
So
I mean, a lot of people look at the land books and all that stuff. The classified ads
in small town papers.
In a small town paper can tell you a lot.
Good tip.
Okay? And it said 2,800 acre ranch and creeks and, you know, had all the little catchwords in the 2 sentences. So I called them up. It was a broker who was, you know, kind of handled one property at a time, and he was doing it for a friend. But it was intriguing. So we set up an appointment, myself and a partner, to come down and take a look at it, and we loved it. So we put together our team very quickly. We had never bought a ranch. By the way, this applies to 1 acres in the Carolinas or 5 acres in California. We put together our little team. We did all the due diligence, which is critical. Okay, we looked at the title report. We looked at the mineral rights. We looked at, does anybody have rights to this land? Can anybody build a driveway across it to get to another house?
How does this going to become ugly?
Yes. Well, and we really liked the seller, and everything went fine, and we closed on it, and we were extremely happy. And then we found, because this happens to be a large piece of land, but it can be true on a smaller one, that the seller had altered the legal description and what he had transferred us, and had kept 40 acres. That was originally part of the purchase price.
And what was on those 40 acres? Was there something important there, or he just...
A water source.
So the valuable part of the land
one of the valuable parts of the land he kept for himself without telling us, so that what we thought we were buying was 40 acres less. Okay, this would be the same as somebody buying a 5-acre piece and thinking that they had that corner with the barn, but the corner with the barn really belongs to the neighbor.
So how do people avoid that?
Well, people avoid that by doing their due diligence and being, I don't want to say less trusting, should we say keep your eyes a little wider open. Now, we eventually resolved that satisfactorily with the seller, but that's just one little story.
I think a lot of people have house stories like that, so they can relate.
Yes, absolutely. I thought I was getting the refrigerator, but the refrigerator's gone. You know, I mean, it's kind of the same analogy.
Yes. So this is Wellness for the Real World with Dr. Veronica, and I am talking to Reid L. Rosenthal.